Okay, guys. Today we have to talk about grammar and the meaning of grammar. Now, dealing with the grammar has got two perspectives. فيه مفهومان. The first one, the one that you studied in the first and the second year, which is the micro level or micro analysis of grammar. That micro level of grammar deals with the structuring, the form of the sentence, deals with the forms of constructing sentences. For example, we in the first and in the second year we study what? We study how we structure, for example, the present simple, the past simple, the present continuous, the future, all these together in one basket. Today we are not after talking about how we put the subject plus verb plus complement or plus object or plus the verb with ing with the continuous forms. Not this really, but we need to talk about the theories and the macro level of structuring sentences. When we talk about sentences, we talk about the English language specifically, not other languages. We may compare this language with other languages. That's okay, maybe with German, with Arabic, with the French, or with whatever. But we are not after dealing with the, let's say, with the schools or with the theories of the grammar of those languages. But we are after dealing with the grammar of the English specifically. So before we start talking about all these, we need to put in mind that we have some particular theories that talk about and describe the history and how this grammar comes into being in the real time. Before we talk also about these theories, it's important to remind you of something that is related to the previous chapter, which is the following. The example given in the book, the lucky boys, the lucky boys. This is just a gentle reminder of how we analyze and how we label each of these words. Now with there, we have the article there with the definite article there. This is functional word. It gives the idea that we are going to talk about things which are maybe things, I mean, the subject itself is known to me as a hero. Now, when I say they, it means that I know what you are talking about. I know the subject that you are describing in the sentence. That's why it is functional here. For luck, split it from why, luck is the stem word. Luck is the base, is the root word. That's why it is lexical. It's called lexical. Why is called derivational? It is derivational because the why's influence comes into what? Into changing the category of the word luck. It changes luck from noun into an adjective. From a noun into adjective. That's why it is derivational. Aside from the types of the derivations, we are just after knowing what why makes here and what why can change when it is attached to luck. Boy, again, here we have another lexical word because it is the stem word. That's why it's called lexical. The S here is also inflectional. Why it is inflectional? Because it changes the category of boy from singular into plural. This is how we describe and how we characterize each of the words or each word given in the sentence. And this can also be done with the phrases. All these are under the umbrella of phonology and morphology in a specific term. Now, English grammar, I may first ask you to tell me what is the meaning of English grammar? I mean, in terms of definition. If you have any idea, please raise your hand. Let me see it. Yes, please. I may start with Mustafa, then I go to Sabah. Mustafa, can you give me your full name, please?
Yes, Dr. Mustafa Qais Abdel.
Qais Abdel. Yes, please.
Yes. Grammar is the analysis of the structure of phrases and sentences and the rules that of putting the words together in a language.
Great. Okay.
Shall I proceed with an example?
Yeah, go ahead, but within the same section.
Yeah. For example, the phrase "the lucky boys" can only be combined in that way, and this is the strict rules for combining words in English. For example, we can't say the boys the lucky, or because that will
Boys
be
lucky there. Yeah.
because that will be unacceptable and ungrammatical in English, and this is the rules.
Okay, this is okay. Thank you very much, Mustafa. I may go now to Sabah Iman.
Yes, sir.
Please, any idea?
English grammar, it is the process of describing the structure of phrases and sentences in such a way in accounting for the grammatical sequences in a language and the rule of the language.
This is okay. Sabah Imad Hashim, I guess.
Yes.
Good. Okay. We may go now to Noor Al Hussein.
Yes,
What's
sir.
your idea, please?
We can refer to grammar as the process of describing the structure in language and rule out all the ungrammatical sequence. We can notice that each language has its own grammar, and each language has different ways of forming grammatical phrases and sentences.
Good. This is okay. Correct. We may go to Safa. طبعا, we have the same idea. It's okay. We all are moving around the same idea, but I need you to use your own words. This is your own room to give me your idea and how you respond to the information that are found in the book. Okay? So I know the same idea. We are all moving. We are all after knowing what's the definition given in the book, but each one of you, I feel, uses his or her own way to express the idea found in the book, the idea that the speaker understands from the book, as you see. Okay, so Safa Yunus, please.
Yes.
And give me your full name, please. Yunus what?
Safa Yunus Nan.
Good. Okay, Safa, go ahead.
English grammar, what I understand from it, is a process and to combine the words and phrases to make full sentences, and it should be in particular rule and sequence, because we cannot add the word as we want, and for each language have certain rules and the process to combine the sentences. What's important
The
is
words in a sentence. The word in a sentence.
Yes, and the process of describing the structure of phrases and sentences in such a way that we account for the grammatical sequence in language and rule of all the grammatical sentence is one of the parts of language.
Thank you very much, Safa Yunus. Very nice. Okay, yes, I can see just Talib. Ghufran, I guess. Ghufran Talib.
نعم أستاذ.
And your surname, please. Ghufran Talib, full name.
غفران طالب عبد لازم.
That's okay. Ghufran, go ahead.
Grammar, the set of rules that govern a language and words in a language of clauses or phrases or composition in the words. It determines the way words fit together to make complete sentence.
Excellent. Okay, good. And I may last go to Adra Abbas.
Yes, sir.
Your full name, please. Adra.
Adra Abbas is it?
That's okay. Go ahead, Adra.
English grammar is have a different meaning in every language. This definition is used to describe the rules of English because each language, like Turkey and Hindi, have different ways to describing grammars. And that English grammar have a different meaning in every language.
Great, thank you very much, Adra. Now my following question is, if I say, please lower your hand, Adra. If I say, boy is lucky there, how do you respond to this sentence? Boy, if it is a sentence. Boy is lucky there. Yes, Mustafa.
We feel that it is ungrammatical.
And what would you do if you hear a sentence from me like that?
I will maybe correct it. Or...
Yeah, let me listen to Safa. Let's see.
Yes, sir.
Not on all
When I
occasions
heard,
we are able to correct the ungrammatical sentences. Sometimes we are not able to correct them. But let's see, Safa. Yes.
when I listen to this sentences, I will be confused because it's meaningless.
Yeah, it is meaningless. Why it is meaningless? Because it is ungrammatical.
Yes.
Now, the second question is, are we going to understand what the speaker may intend to mean or not?
Yes, sir. Can I answer?
Let me listen to Mustafa, then I come back again to you, Safa.
Yes, sir.
Yes, doctor. I think the meaning will be unclear and vague.
The meaning might be unclear.
Yes.
Do you think that you are able to understand? Okay, let's see Abbas. Safa, sorry, but then we come to Abbas.
Yes, sir. Maybe I will get what exactly the meaning, but not direct, because the word is similar to me. Boys and lucky I heard before, but the sequence is wrong.
So you mean that you can
maybe I
rearrange it?
will get the meaning. What you
you
want
get
to
the
do.
meaning. You may mentally, subconsciously, بشكل لا إرادي, you rearrange the sentence. However, it is ungrammatical, and then you may can have the idea or the gist of the idea of the speaker and what
the message you want to say.
Yes, that's okay. Now, Abbas, I guess you raised your hand, then you lowered it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Abbas, can you please? Abbas Hamid, I guess.
Abbas Hamid Ashur.
That's okay. Go ahead, Abbas.
There is an ambiguity with this phrase, sir.
This is what I want you to say. It will be ambiguous sentence. Yes, please go ahead, Abbas.
Second thought, I will assume you are non-native English.
Great, excellent put. Yes, almost the speaker is not native of that language, whether it's Spanish or Italian or Iraqi or Arabic, anyone. So this is okay. Good explanations to the ungrammatical sentences. Sometimes, not always, or often, we can rearrange the words mentally to understand, to make ourselves understand what is the speaker is trying to say. But this may create what Abbas said, something ambiguous. Not all the time. Not all the time we are able to rearrange the mistakes or the, let's say, the ungrammatical sentences. So I think you presented very nice explanations to the meaning of grammar. Generally, what we understand from the lines that are highlighted in yellow, that we have what? We have some restrictions and some rules. These restrictions and rules, بعض القواعد والضوابط, help us arrange the sentence or arrange the words into or in their correct place so as to make them or to make the sentence understandable as well as meaningful. What we have here, we have some labels, as you can see here. We have the article there, we have the noun, we have the adjective lucky, we have the noun boy. So all these are what are for us are the labels to put to each of the words to know how this word is analyzed, to know how this word or these words are analyzed. Now, the process of this is the definition of grammar. The process of describing the structure of phrases and sentences in such a way, which way? The way of labeling the words, that we account for all the grammatical sequences. It means the grammatical sequences, we may start with what? With the article, if it is necessary, then we go to the subject, then we do the verb, and then the rest of the sentence, maybe the complement. The grammatical sequences in a language. This is very general. So this definition is applicable to all languages. When we say in a language, we don't say in the English language. We say in a language. which means that all languages have some role given, as one of you said, I guess Saba, if I'm not mistaken, or Noor said that we have some rules and restrictions that govern التي تحكم التي تسيطر على اللغة and rule out all the ungrammatical sequences. So if we have some arbitrary put words not put in the right sequence with the label of grammar or the components of it as components of labeling words, we can rearrange the word grammatically. Is one way of defining the grammar. So this is very important to understand what is the meaning of grammar. For further details, it's the kind of definition assumed when we talk about the grammar of English. So now, as you can see, the article, I mean the noun, then the verb, SVO, subject, verb, complement, object, sorry, subject, verb, object, SVO. This is specific to English. But in other languages like Swahili, Tagalog, or Turkish, or whatever, we may have, or definitely we have, different structure. لكن في كل حال من الأحوال, what we have is what? We have role govern. لازم أكو عندنا إحنا بعض القواعد التي تضع هذه الجملة في هذا التنسيق. And this may vary from one language to another. يعني ممكن إنه في اللغة الإنجليزية we have what? SVO, subject, verb, object. But in Turkish, what we have? We have subject, object, verb. So this is different. However, in general, there must be rules. يعني من نقول أكو SVO أو SVOV بالنسبة للإنجليزية والتركية, في كل حال من الأحوال هنالك قواعد أو ضوابط تحكم الجملة في تلك أو هذه اللغة. Well, now let's move now to know more about the traditional grammar. The traditional grammar, النحو التقليدي, the one that you studied previously. Now let me see your hands raised if you are interested in giving me some of the ideas that you get from this one. Yes, Hajar. Hajar, I guess we have Hajar.
Yes, sir.
Hajar, your full name, please. Hajar Majid.
Hajar Majid Hamdi.
Good. Okay, go ahead, Hajar, please.
Traditional grammar. A framework devised for English language for the grammatical rule of Latin and Greek, because this language have well-established grammatical description. This grammatical description are then able to language such as English for analysis. The best now term for the tradition are these is used description of the part of speech.
That's great. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Hajar. Let me listen to somebody else. Thank you. I'm sorry to stop you, but I guess I need to listen to some of your colleagues' opinions. Okay, yes, Manar, please. Manar Badr. Manar Badr.
Yes, Victor. The best now term from the traditional are these uses in describe the part of the speech.
Okay, what do you mean by parts of speech? Manar.
أجزاء الكلام, like noun, adjective, verb, adverb.
This is okay. Good. Okay, these are parts of speech. Good.
Yes.
That's it. Okay, thank you very much. Safa Abdul Wahab, please.
Traditional grammar refers to the type of grammar study done prior to the beginning of modern language. So, grammar in this tradition sense is the study of the structure and formation of words and sentences, usually without much reference to sound and meaning.
That's it. Okay,
yes.
Safa. Okay. So let's see Maryam Ahmed. Thank you very much, Safa.
Yes.
What do you have to say?
Traditional grammar. Since there were well-established grammatical descriptions of these older languages, it seems appropriate to adopt the existing of categories from this description and apply them to the analysis of language like English.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So I may lastly go to Noor Al Hussein.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
We
Noor.
can uh, we can say that the parts of a speech.
Never mind. Go ahead. Proceed. Okay.
I'm sorry for interruption.
Never mind. Never
So
mind.
parts of a speech are is a number of terms used in describing those basic components, uh, and they
Components.
connect.
Components.
Yes, and they connect to each other in terms of agreements.
In terms of what?
Agreements.
Agreement. This is okay. Now, thank you very
Yes.
much for your nice ideas. All these ideas were put in the right way. But now let's move to talk about a little bit about the section traditional grammar. We should remember that we have labels, and these labels are the grammatical categories. Grammatical categories, I talked about this one. So we have the article, we have the adjective, we have the noun, for example. And you remember we started the class with analyzing the lucky boys. And we said that this word is derivational, that word is the stem maybe, or the lexical word. Also we have the functional. So all these are to categorize, to label which word is this. Now all these are belonging to where? To the traditional grammar, which has its origin, main جاية هذه, its origins in the description of language such as Latin and Greek. Why Latin and Greek? Because this is about this language is of philosophy, religion, and scholarship. So this is another way to say that the grammar, or for grammarians, they found that the grammar of English or the grammar of the English language is inherited from Latin and Greek. This is why we have many times some irregularities in grammar as well as in verbs conjugation. When we have the verb or verbs conjugations, تصاريف الأفعال, we have many of these irregular verbs, and also we have some irregular, according to us, for example, irregular pluralization. Sometimes we don't use the S for pluralizing the word. We don't always say boy, boys to make the word or the singular word to change it into plural. We sometimes need some other words. These words might be from or imported from other languages in this way or in this or that form. Child, children, we don't say childs, or even we don't say children's, right? So these are irregularities because of the of the inheritance and from the words that are imported to the English language. So we have inherited a number of terms from the model that are used in describing these basic grammatical components, such as we can call these as parts of speech, and how they connect. Now, the connection of all these parts should be put in terms of agreement, يعني توافقية في التنسيق. Now, before we talk about the agreement, which will be detailed in the coming section or sections, we need also to review and to take advantage of the parts of speech for those who may forget or might get confused from the meaning of parts of speech. Here we have what? A list of these basic parts. We have the nouns, we have the articles, adjectives, adverbs, maybe, or verbs, adverbs, prepositions, pronouns, conjunctions. So all these are, as you can see here, explained in detail with examples. Now, most important is to go to the meaning of agreement, and here I need to listen to your ideas. Please first lower your hands, everybody, please. Let me see those who want again to participate. Yes, you can now raise your hand if you are interested. Can I see some new faces? Noor Jasim Hassan, please.
Yes. Agreement. In addition to the term used for the part of speech, traditional grammatical analysis has also given a number of other categories, including number, person, tenses, voice, and gender. It means that make connection between part of speech and categories. This process make agreements. For example, Kathy loves her dog. The first category is a person. The first person is involving the speaker, and the second person involving the hearer, and the third person is involving any others. The first person refers to I, and the second person refers to he or she, and the third person, and
yeah,
the
go
second.
ahead.
What?
Go ahead. Continue.
Yes. And the second category is tenses. In this sentence, present simple, and the third category is a genders. Refers her or she to singular female, and refers his or he to male.
Okay, this is okay, but we need some modifications, but your answer is clear. Thank you very much, Noor. Yes, let me see. غفران طالب, please. غفران طالب عبد.
When referring to grammatical rules means that word when we use it, it needs to align in a number and in gender. When we use
What do you mean by number, غفران? What's the meaning of number here?
Person or
Okay, this is okay. Go ahead.
when we use a singular subject of
This is the meaning of we might have singular or plural subject. This is the number. Okay.
the verb that must also be singular. These should always agree with the on together.
Now, let me tell you something. Again, your explanations is nice. Now, what we have here with the traditional grammatical analysis has given us a number of categories, including what? Including the number, maybe the number, it means the singular or plural. We have the person as well as the tense. This tense might be in the present, past, future. Voice. This sentence might be voice. I mean, we have the what we can say, the voice form. Also, we have the gender. With the gender, also we have maybe the male or the female. With the voice, also we have the passive. Sorry, I forgot it. So we have the passive voice and we have the active voice. This is the meaning of voice, not the meaning that is given in the phonological explanations. Now, all these categories discussed in isolation, all these should be in form of agreement. This is the example given in the book. We have Kathy. Kathy is a name of a female. She is somebody. Now, Kathy is singular. This is related to gender as Kathy and related to number. We have just one person. When we have this singular form, we can use the S third person singular to express the present form. Talking about things which is real, that this person loves the dog. Which dog? Her dog. From the pronoun her, we can understand that we are talking about a female, not a male. If we have, for example, Jasim here, this pronoun comes to be his dog instead of her. Well, again, here we have very nice explanations. These are the detailed explanations. I shortened actually the description of these. I put some of these categories in green, as you see, to distinguish them from other explanations in this section. Again, here I guess I also talked about the person. The person, we have three types of persons. We have the first person. من هو هذا الفirst person? Is the speaker. The second person is the person who is the hearer or who receives the speech. The third person is the rest of people who are involved in the process of speech. Now, the different forms of English pronouns can be described in terms of what? In person and number. Remember, with number we have the number of people, the number of speakers. With the person, we have the first, second, the first person who is the speaker, we have the hearer, and we have the rest of people who are involved in speech. That's why sometimes, as you, I guess, Mariam maybe said, or sorry, Noor, talked about the use of I as a first person singular, or you to talk about the addressee whom we are talking to, and we involve also what some other people who are not present. يعني ممكن في بعض الأحيان نتكلم عن شخص وهذا الشخص يكون غائب غير موجود أمامنا الآن. من أتكلم عن هذا الشخص الغائب, I need also to remember I'm talking about a male, a female. Also, it should be remembered I'm talking about one person, male or female, or a group of people. That's why here also we need also to remember that I'm talking about a human or non-human person. هسه لما أكون أنا في موقع المتحدث أستخدم الضمير I. If I address you in my speech, I refer to the second person who is you, أنت, الشخص اللي يعني المستمع لي. وين أتكلم عن أشخاص غائبين أو شخص غائب, I have to put in mind the category of those people. كيف أصنف أولئك الناس? They might be one person, and this person might be a male or a female, or might be what a number of people, and those referred to by the pronoun that. ولهذا يسمى بضمير الغائب. With the tense also we have the present, as I said, the past, the present, and the future. Aside from the subcategories of these tenses, totally they come to the 12 tense or tenses, and also we have the active and passive voice. With the gender, we have also to put these verbs in form of agreement. يعني من يكون عندي أنا شخص غائب مفرد علي أن أو في حالة المضارع علي أن أستخدم اس الشخص الغائب. إذا كان هذا الشخص مجموعة من الأشخاص عفوا, I have to remove the s and put this in the they. For example, they love their dogs. So this is what is meant by agreement. Is everything clear up to now, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Victor.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions before I move to the next section? Any questions? Any comments? I may want to add it. Well, okay. Now with the grammatical gender, I recommend you go to search for the difference between the meaning. You can write this down, please. Write this down. Write this down. Write the following down. What is the difference between natural gender and grammatical gender? What's the difference between natural gender and grammatical gender? This is very important. When I say important, I don't mean important or the importance which is related to examinations. No, I mean important for you and for everybody to understand the difference between these two, because they are important for you since you study language and linguistics. Now, with the what the explanation given in the book is very short. That's why I need you to search for further explanations and details that we may talk about next class. So the type of the biological, now this is related to the biology of the speaker. Distinction based on the natural gender in English is quite different from more common distinction found in languages that use grammatical gender. Now, is English natural gender or grammatical gender? This is what I want you to target, what I want you to search for. Now, whereas natural gender is based on sex, when talking about natural gender specifically, and this is very broad, we talk about the sex, I mean the male and female. And when talking about the grammatical gender, this is based on the what? On the masculinity or masculine and feminine, and not related or tied to sex. This in this latter معناها اللاحق المقصود ب grammatical gender الآن sense, Nouns are classified according to their gender class. Typically, articles and adjectives have different forms to agree with. طبعا I may give you this example. Is it okay? هسه من الناحية النحوية هي راح تكون مضبوطة هذا المثال. لكنه من الناحية الأسلوبية. Can I say the man is beautiful, or I cannot say that, and why? In both cases. Is it okay grammatically or not? Grammatically. My question has got two subcategories. The man is beautiful. We can find two perspectives, two explanations. The grammatical one and the logical one from a stylistic point of view. Let me listen to Huda Asad, please.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of
this sentence? Yes, sir. This sentence is grammatically correct.
Okay.
But yes, but the expression "beautiful," it's usually used by native speaker to only refer to women or
What native
females.
speakers? We are not native speakers. Yahuda. We are not native speakers. We are learners.
Yes,
but when we say the man is beautiful, you may say what? Right? Anyway, do you want to add something, Huda?
No, thank you, sir.
Thank you. I do thank you, actually. Yes, Safa Yunus, what do you have to say? After Safa, I may listen to Ali.
Yes, sir. As we just said, it's grammatical correct, but this adjective it's almost used with nouns of female and with name of women. They always use with the noun of man, smart, strong, and this adjective.
Thank you very much. Okay, yes, Abir Falah, please.
Regarding your question, Doctor, about whether the sentence is grammatically correct or not, it is grammatically correct. But usually when referring to a man, native speakers will say handsome rather than beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Handsome, the man is handsome, okay. But beautiful as an adjective is, okay, Abir, I'm sorry to stop you. If you want to add something.
I was just going to describe the grammatical gender, but I'll do that later.
That's okay. That's okay. I will be waiting for that. Now, what do we have here? Grammatically, this sentence is fine. Okay, but that doesn't mean all grammatical sentences are acceptable to the era. Sometimes we have to think of what? Of the gender. And with the gender, there is the combination and the agreement of what? Of adjectives as well. So now this is a very nice example I gave you, which is the man is beautiful. It's grammatically okay, as you all said that, and I agree with this. But from a stylistic point of view, logically, from a logical point of view, mantaqiyan, it isn't acceptable. Why? Because this adjective beautiful can be used with children or with kids. That's okay. And with women, generally. The alternative of beautiful for men is handsome. Handsome at the same time is not logically acceptable to be used with what? With females. So it is not acceptable from a logical point of view. From a stylistic point of view. في موضوع يتعلق بأسلوب الكتابة والكلام. وهذا الأسلوب is connected directly with logic. مرتبط مباشرة مع المنطق. So now I can say the man is handsome, but I cannot say the woman is beautiful at the same time. Sorry, the woman is handsome. So handsome as an adjective is determined to be used. احنا ما نقول هاي صفة وهاي صفة وهاي جميل وهذا جميل. لكنها we have what the majority of people agree or have agreed, because the influence is still alive, have agreed to what? Split these two adjectives. They dedicated the first one beautiful for women as well as children, and the second one to what? To be used with men. This is what is meant by the example that I just gave you related to the grammatical gender agreement. For other languages like Spanish and German, the two that I highlighted, they follow different labeling and different classification to the agreement between the let's say the subject with the verb, the tense, the gender, the number, or whatever. So, for example, in German we have what I'm not after understanding these because it is not the language, but this is just to give you some further examples to compare it with English. These are in German we have 3 genders. We have the masculine, feminine, and we have the neutral. So these also in English we have the neutral, but this is a different case from the one that we are after. With the traditional analysis, again, we are not far from talking about Latin and Greek. And in the beginning, or let's say not exactly in the beginning, we said that the grammar we have in the English language is inherited from Latin and Greek. Why from Latin and Greek? Why not from Arabic? Why not from other languages? Because they are very close geographically, and they have some trades between these countries. They have the notion of conquer, al-ihtilal. So all these make the grammarians or the theorists who put grammar to inherit the grammar from the Latin and the Greek, and Latin and the Greek is also one of the pioneering, or these two pioneering languages, and they are rich of philosophy and literature in general. So here we have what the present tense, and how this present tense is also agreed with the active voice, how to deal with the first person singular, with the second person, with the third, and then with the plural. So this is with the singular, and this one is with the plural. I'm not going to talk about that in details. I may ask some of you to, if that body is interested, in tell us what is the meaning of the traditional analysis now, with the traditional analysis of grammar. Yes, Adra, Abbas. And
Yes.
after Adra, I may go to Mustafa, please. Adra,
Yes.
Abbas, your full name, please. Adra.
Adra
Okay.
Abbas.
This is your second participation. Go ahead,
Yes.
Adra, please.
Yes. Traditional analysis. In the analysis of English grammar, it is compared with Latin forms. This is called the traditional analysis. But in Latin, a verb have different form for each pronoun, whereas in English, the verb is almost the same for the pronouns, except for singular third person
Okay.
and present indefinite. However, at many levels, the traditional grammar.
Adra,
Yes.
I'm awfully sorry, but let me stop you just for a while, then you can continue. Now, what Adra tries to say is that يعني أنا إذا عندي ضمير I, will you, will we, will they, for example, they all these pronouns do not have any addition to the verb when it is in the present. So I say I love, you love, they love, we love. So this is in English. In different languages, I might be disconnected. Did you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Manar,
we do.
Manar, what did I say last thing? What was the last thing I said? حتى أعرف أبدي منين أخاف انقطاع خط وياكم.
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you hear that we have In English, for example, I, you, we, they all do not have, as pronouns, do not have the S with the verb. Did you hear that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was your last word.
He, she,
Yes,
and
sir.
it.
Yes.
And he, she, and it. اوكي. هسه المقصود شنو في كلامي الان لما اقول he والشي والit. شوفوا هنا we have three different categories. We have the category of the sex here, and we have also the category of what no, not the gender. هسه he refers to male, she refers to female, it refers to neutral pronoun. لكن رغم انه يتبعون سلالة او سلسلة مختلفة, they have one common thing with verbs when we deal with what? With the present tense. شنو عندهم دول كلهم يشتركون؟ انهم ثلاثتهم ياخذون اس الشخص الثالث الغائب. في حالة الماضي جميع هذه الضمائر تأخذ what? For example with the verb conjugation بتصريف الفعل, كلهم هذول ما نقول بعد عندنا ما عندنا هنا اس ولا اس, وإنما جميع هذه الضمائر جميعهم سبعتهم we have the ed form with the regular verbs and with another or other conjugations with the irregular verbs. كلهم بالماضي يخضعون إلى نفس التسميات. هذا المقصود بالكلام مالتي. وعذراء أنا قاطعتك وأرجع لك مرة ثانية.
Yes, sir.
إذا عندك if you have to add something عباس عذراء عباس. Please.
Yes. However, at many levels, traditional grammatists have devised rules according to Latin.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all. Thank you very much. Yes, Mustafa, what do you want to add?
Yes, doctor. Actually, traditional grammar in English took the same tables of the Latin, of the grammar of Latin, and we can see that clear in the table that showed in the book about the English, the table of English verbs. But it showed us that every verb is different in Latin, but while in English there is the verbs are almost the same.
Right.
But only the pronouns are the one that changed in English.
That's okay. This is great. Okay. Abir, you wanted to say something about gender, I guess, some few minutes ago. Abir Falah?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, what do you want to ask for gender, please?
So for grammatical gender, it means a grammatical
grammatical and natural gender. Okay.
Yeah. It means a grammatical category designating the class of a noun as being masculine, feminine, or neutral. It differs from natural gender in that natural gender refers to the biological sex of the person, whereas grammatical gender refers to the actual noun, whether it's masculine or feminine or not tied to any gender.
المذكر والمؤنث.
Yeah, feminine.
الذكر والأنثى. This is what is this is exactly the difference between, if I'm not mistaken, with the idea that you want to present, Abir.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Abir. Thanks for this participation. Okay, now let's move to talk about the prescriptive grammar, or prescriptive approach of analyzing grammar. What we have here, prescriptive, remember, prescriptive means the old one, السابق. Okay, so now if you are interested to have some 5 minutes break, then we resume. What do you think?
Yes, doctor, that will be better.
Okay, so you don't want any break, but I may need a break.
No, I said the break will...
No, I'm just joking. Okay, so now let's see. With the prescriptive, here we need to talk about the, let's say, the old perspective or the old perspective and how the view was about the grammar, and the influential grammarians did something mainly in the 18th century in England. Now, it's one thing to adopt the grammar labels. Here we have the nouns and the verbs as examples. To categorize words, حتى نصنف الكلمات, we have what? We have the noun, we have the verb, we have the pronoun also. In English sentences, it's quite another thing to go on to claim and يدعي that the structure of English sentences should be like the structure of sentences in Latin. This is important to start with when we talk about the prescriptive approach of analyzing grammar compared to what to the descriptive approach that we will talk about later. So now we have what here with the prescriptive? The Latin and the grammar in Latin should be compatible with what? With the grammar in English. So that was an approach taken a number of influential grammarians, mainly in the 18th century, who set out rules وضعوا قواعد for the proper use of يعني هم وضعوا قواعد لأن تسير هكذا في اللغة الإنجليزية للأسباب اللي ذكرناها سابقا. This view of grammar as a set of rules for the proper use of the language is still to be found today and maybe best characterized as the prescriptive approach. شنو يقولون بالprescriptive approach? Let me listen to your ideas, please. Okay, Safa Abdul Wahab, this is your third participation, maybe the fourth or third. Yes. Yes, Safa, please. Let me listen to your ideas.
An approach to grammar that has rules for the proper use of language, traditionally based on Latin. Okay, sir. So, in Latin rules, you must not split an infinitive.
This is very important to remember. Okay, we must not split one.
Go quickly. If there is to go quickly, it should not to quickly go or any other pattern.
Okay.
You must not end a sentences with a preposition. Who did you go with? Instead of with who did you go?
As exactly the examples here that I'm highlighting now. Right.
And another example, Mary runs faster than I. Instead of Mary runs faster than me.
Faster than me.
Yeah. And another rules is you should never begin a sentences with and.
Okay.
Like example, my family and I. Instead of and me and my family.
Right. Right. So all these are according to the prescriptive approach of analyzing grammar. Thank you very much. I may go to Maryam Ahmed for your second participation. Maryam Ahmed Jassim.
Yes.
Please go.
The prescriptive approach is the view of grammar. Prescriptive approach, the view of grammar as a set of rules for the correct or proper use of the language. May can be characterized as the prescriptive approach. Grammarians set out rules for the correct, proper use of English. For example, never begin with and. You must
never begin with and, never split. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yes, this rule can be broken. It isn't because of the English forms it's because of the breaking support of Latin grammar.
So this is according to the Latin. These grammarians restrict the grammar of English to be similar to the way Latin uses the grammar. This is, in short, how we understand from the prescriptive grammar. Now, what's wrong with this grammar? Is it compatible now? Can we also stick to these rules, or we have now breached these rules? طبعا هذا الكلام الآن highlighted in the highlighted lines have been explained by your colleagues. So this is it. They have some certain restrictions, بعض الضوابط, and they said that these should be compatible and proper for English when writing and speaking. شنو هي? You must not split an infinitive. You must not end a sentence with a preposition. You must not start your sentence with and so on. So all these are the rules. They believe it is okay for grammar. Now, what happened with Captain Kirk? This is an episode. I may go now to who's interested to talk about this section, please, or subsection. Yes, Mustafa. Yes, who said something?
Safa.
Safa, I guess you, which Safa? Safa. Safa, no, Safa. No, not you now, this time, Safa. Let me first go to Adra and may listen to Mustafa later. تفضلي عذراء.
Yes, sir.
Yes, تفضلي.
Captain corrects English infinitive is to plus verb base to go and can be used with adverbs such as boldly. In every Star Trek episode, the Captain Kirk always use this expression to boldly go. This is an example of slight infinitive such as to greatly walk. In English, an infinitive constants upon two separate words, whereas in Latin, infinitive is of one word.
Right. Thank you very much. Yes, Mustafa, please.
Yes, doctor. In the episode, Captain Kirk, he used the term to boldly go. And this is against the rule of English in perspective English.
خرق لقواعد اللغة الإنجليزية.
Yes, doctor. Because it follows the Latin.
نعم تفضل.
The Latin rules. But in Latin, the form of infinitive is it cannot be separated because it's one word, while in English it's two words. So in the modern English, it's okay to.
Right.
I think,
so even in schools, we learned to follow two with other. So after two, there must be other. This is what we had been taught actually in schools. But for modern English and English of today, so there is the possibility to split the two from go, the infinitive from the verb, from the base verb. For example, of this, to boldly go, not also to go boldly. Both are correct, but there is the possibility to use another form rather from to infinitive plus verb. This is what is the meaning, of this section. Now, with the descriptive approach, we have something else. With the descriptive approach, we have something else. But I guess before we go to talk about the descriptive, which is the modern, I guess we need to stop for a while, maybe for 3 minutes, and then we resume our class. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, guys, let's resume. We are at this station, exactly the descriptive approach. Again, we have I have just to remind you of what we have. Two approaches up to now. We have the prescriptive, which is the old perspection, and we have perspective, sorry, and now we have the descriptive approach. This time I may again see your hands raised if you are interested, but I wish I can see some new faces. Yes, we may have this time. Yes, Abbas, please go ahead. Abbas, this is your second participation. Abbas Hamid. Yes, please, Abbas. Abbas Hamid, are you following us? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Please. Now, what's your idea about the descriptive approach of analyzing grammar?
Actually, sir, I have no idea.
No idea, but I think you raised your hand.
No, sir.
Yes, not no. Yes, I can see your hand. So lower it. Let me give the chance to. Yes. Anyway, so yes, Noor Ali Hussein, please. Noor Ali Hussein.
Yes, sir.
This is your third participation.
Yeah. The view argues that a grammar rule. Yes, sir. The grammar rules of Latin grammar didn't seem to fit some language, such as English and other language.
Exactly.
It was based on collecting samples of the language people are interested in, and it's like attempting to describe the regular structure of the language.
The real
as
one,
it was
the regular
used,
one, is
not
commonly among
yeah,
people.
not according to some view of how it should be used.
This shortens the long story actually. Now it seems that the old grammar, the Latin that is in, or the grammar that is inherited or was inherited from Latin, seems to not to fit the grammar today. It seems a little bit misleading if we just try to describe or categorize the sentences according to the way or to the approach followed in Latin. It seems nowadays to have a new revolution against the prescriptive approach. It is formed or seen as the descriptive, which comes later after the prescriptive. Now, you see, because the categories and rules of Latin grammar did not seem to fit these languages, not only in English, but also this is applicable to Latin, to Italy and Spanish. Okay, so now we have what? We have what is called the descriptive approach, and the adaptation of this one seems to fit the nowadays use of language. Also, we have some analysts who collected these samples of language, as Noor, I guess, yes, who said that, yes, Noor, samples of language they were interested in and attempted to describe the regular structures. The regular structures, it means the commonly used structure of sentences in the language, as it was used, not according to some view of how it should be. Okay, now to analyze the sentences, we have different approaches also to analyze this one. This is directly related to syntax. And I guess you study some of these in syntax classes. So here we have what? We have some test frames, and from these test frames, we can decide according to the analysts. Again, مو إنه بالنسبة لنا، إحنا بالنسبة للغويين أو المحللون لهذه الجمل. They said that each sentence should pass through this test, and if it fits this test, it is okay. If not, no. هسه راح أعطيكم فد مثال. Here we have some examples. You see, we have radio, car, child, donkey, dog, radio. So these words share one thing, which is that all of them are nouns. كلهم دول هم أسماء. لكن we are not going to deal with these nouns similarly. شلون؟ Car is a noun, it's okay, but it is non-human. Child is also a noun, but it refers to a human. This is one thing. The second one, when we change this singular form into plural, we just need to add s to say cars. But with child, we do not follow the same strategy because it is an irregular verb pluralization. We say children. Now, donkey, dog are both animals, so they are neutral, they are non-human. And also when we add, when we pluralize them, it is okay to add the s. Donkeys and dogs. Radio is also non-human, so we can add the s regular to say radios. Some other examples may be related to something which is not given in the book, like deer, D-E-E-R, معناها الغزال. So when we pluralize the deer, we say also deer. There is no change with the form. Sometimes we say the deer is, and also we say it depends on the context. يعتمد على السياق أو عن ماذا يعني the intention of the speaker. To pluralize, to talk about this in plural, to say the deer in the forest are something. يعني الدير هي كلمة مفردة وكلمة جمع في الشكل نفسه. Fish as well. We don't say fishes. Okay, so this is the test. هذا التست الأول لم ينجح في تغطية كل الجمل وكل الكلمات الموجودة في اللغة، لذلك جاءوا بتست آخر. When they say the dog, so زين هسه هذه the والdog زين اثنيناتهم اخليهم دولة فاعل ولا ايش؟ جانا تست فريم آخر اللي هو ما يسمى بالناون نفسه. هذا الناون يرمز له لاحقا بالN with the initial letter N. هسه لما نقول عندي مثلا the language, the dog, the lesson, so this is a noun phrase. هذه the زائد الاسم ما تنجح بالتست فريم الأول. That's why they created another form, let's say test frame 2, to analyze let's say the and dog. The big dog هسه هنا صارت عندي اشياء اكبر او اوسع. an old car زين هذه كلها خليها noun ولا عندي شيء اخر، عندي شيء اخر اللي هو الnoun phrase. This is exactly what is meant by the section of the structural analysis. This is not the end of the quote, not the end of the story. We have the constituent analysis. With the constituent analysis, this is basically designed to be dealt with syntax. Now, with the constituent analysis, the technique employed in this approach is designed to show how small constituents, the constituents معناها الcomponents, and the components هذه المفردات اللي أصغر من غيرها go together to form larger constituents. So now we have one component gathered with another to form constituents. شلون نرمز إلى هذه constituents? In this way. Maybe we have two figures here. I may refer to the second one. As you can see here, we have these, how to refer to this noun phrase as one group, and this one is put as a verb which belongs to another category, and this is the girl which also belongs to which may also belong to another category. By the way, it's a noun phrase as well. So we don't normally think of these combinations as phrases in English. We are more likely to say that the phrase like constituents here are combinations of the following types. We have an old man, we have a shotgun, and also we have another examples. All these resemble the noun phrases. For the verb phrase, we have to have a verb also. And with the verb, there is another constituent to form a verb phrase. Generally, we call this one loved the girl, loved the girl. هذا هي هنا بشكل عام يسمونها verb phrase because it involves a verb. And this verb phrase is developed to be categorized or classified into two. We have the verb and we have the noun phrase. هذا الموضوع كله يدخل بالسنتكس almost with the generative transformational grammar النحو التحويلي that you will study inshallah next year. Even though I think I'm not sure, it depends on the syllabus. I guess it is in your syllabus, in the grammar syllabus or syntax. هذه كلها تسمى labeled and brackets. Label or how to label and put in brackets these sentences. This is what we can take advantage of from these last two sections is the definitions. So this is very important just to know the definitions. We are not after when we study linguistics. I mean, for this year, we are not after categorizing or labeling or analyzing these according to the figures given, as you can see here in front of you. هذا هنا عندي أيضا تحليل، يعني قصدي كمسميات للتحليل. هذه كل الأشياء اللي تشوفونها المختصرات جواها موجودة. Sentence which should be put at the highest, okay, or yeah, at the highest level. Below the sentence we have the noun phrase. Inside the noun phrase we have the article or determiner, and we have the noun. Later inside the sentence we don't have only the noun phrase, we also have the we may have the verb phrase, we may have subjectival phrase, we may have adverbial phrase. All these are included between the parentheses, as you see. So with the verb phrase we have the verb, and also we may have the noun phrase. With the noun phrase we have again the what? The determiner or the article, and we have the noun. So these shortened letters are explained and detailed here. ART to refer to article, noun to noun, noun phrase. All these are also important to know how to organize or categorize the components. يعني هذه المفردات البسيطة اللي موجودة في كل جملة غالبا، هي تكون يعني بهذا الشكل. نقول IRT معناها نقصد بالارتكل، وهكذا الحال مع باقي الجمل. هذا الترتيب هنا عندنا تفصيل إلى بشكل كامل. For S as a sentence which refers to the sentence is higher than the contains of. طبعا اكيد الجمله هي اعلى سقف من الناون فريز، من العباره الاسميه، والعباره الاسميه تسبق العباره الفعليه وهكذا. زين. Similarly here we have the Gaelic sentence. This is not far from the previous one. ايضا نستفيد من الموضوع التعاريف الموجوده. One obvious difference between the structure of this Gaelic sentence and its English counterpart النقيض مالته في اللغة الإنجليزية is the fact that the verb comes first. هذا طبعا تقسيم آخر قد يخص لغة أخرى، لغة تبدأ بفعل كاللغة العربية. First in the sentence. هذا طبعا فوق هو يتكلم عن اللغة الإنجليزية لما نبدي sentence بالnoun phrase وبعدين نبدي نسلسل. Another noticeable feature is that when an adjective is used, it goes after the noun and not before it. طبعا هذا تركيب في لغة أخرى أنه صفة تأتي قبل الاسم وليس العكس صحيح. Mostly important is the closing paragraph. The closing paragraph. Here we have to know why we study grammar. We have 4 reasons why we study the grammar. ليش ندرس النحو؟ The aim is to make explicit بشكل واضح via the diagram or the diagrams given above what we believe to be the structure of a grammatical sentence in language. هذا هو واحد. It also enables, this is number 2, us to describe clearly how English sentences are put together. يعني سلوك اللغة الإنجليزية كيف يضع أو يوضع بشكل أو بآخر. To put as combinations عبارة عن تراكيب of phrases that in turn are combinations of words اللي هي أصلا phrases جاية من words والword جاية from sounds and so on. We can then look at similar description of sentences هذا الثالث in other languages such as the Gaelic, Japanese or Spanish and see clearly what structural differences exist. هذا لغرض المقارنة ما بين اللغات لمعرفة الفروقات من ناحية التركيب النحوي. The next one at a very practical level من ناحية عملية, it may help us to understand why Spanish learner of English produces phrases like the wine red لأنه يأتي بالاسم ثم بالصفة مثل ما شرحت سابقا. Instead of the red wine في اللغة الإنجليزية we start with the adjective then the noun, but in Spanish or other languages we may start with the noun then the adjective, using a structural organization of constituents that is possible in Spanish but not in English. I think with this paragraph I may end the class for today. However, it's a little bit longer than the previous classes, but it takes time because of its importance. Now, if you have anything to add, please, the floor is yours. So, لكم أن تضيفوا ما تشاءوا. If I miss something, yes, Safa, please.
Yes, sir, I have a question and I would add something.
Okay, question, go ahead, please.
My question is, if you canvas questions in exam, why we study the grammar, we should mention this point?
No, of course.
Or direct, or what we understand for.
Bye, Safa. I'm not after memorizing from A to Z information in the book. ما أطالبكم بأن يكون الحفظ مطابق تماما. I request you to tell me how you understand the idea or ideas given in the book. Use your own words. It's okay. Of course, this is acceptable to find that you, Safa, or the rest of you, use your own words, but you should be what inside the idea. يعني يجب أن تكون المحور الأساسي هو الفكرة. أما أن أستخدم كلماتي الخاصة شيء جميل جدا. مو ألا أحفظ عن ظهر قلب why we study grammar. أنا علي أن أفهم الأفكار الأساسية اللي موجودة بكتاب الفكرة، لكنه ممكن أنه أسوي لها paraphrasing باستخدام كلماتي الخاصة. That's okay.
And what I want to say, you ask why we study Latin grammar.
Why we study Latin grammar? Because basically,
in my opinion, because
it's
model for the other grammars and it's near to the English, but not all the grammar of Latin is fit on English. Because for a long time, it's the language of philosophy, religions, and scholarship.
Yes, exactly. So we need to understand a bit of the Latin grammar to know the history of the English grammar and how this grammar is inherited. Important to be applicable in English. But nowadays, what we have, when I say nowadays, I mean tens of years ago. I don't mean these years. I don't mean the recent years. I mean, for example, maybe 50 or 70 or more. I'm not sure about this point or about this historical point. This reference is just to know that grammar is inherited from Latin and Greek. Why? Because this is very rich of philosophy and literature. This is why we need to understand that when I hear, why we study grammar also, I may add this point, when I hear, according to the English grammar, the wine red, for us now as learners of English, we may believe this is wrong. هذه الجملة بديت بها أنا من قلنا أعتقد كان مصطفى عقب على هذا الموضوع أنه لما أسمع جملة غير مرتبة نحويا, do you think we have the ability to understand it? نعم, we have the ability, but not always. It's okay, we can understand it, but sometimes it becomes ambiguous, مثل ما قال عباس. Now, when I one time hear that the wine red, I may understand this person is Spanish, not English speaker. Okay, but when I say the red wine, it is this is the grammar of English that we are after to learn. Yes, Abir Falah, you want to add something, please?
Yes, please. I have a question.
Go ahead.
You know these diagrams and how you said that we are not required to be able to
No.
draw
For diagrams, you are not required to, because I'm not going to ask you analyze the following sentence according to its components. Use diagrams to exemplify your answer. No, this is not going to be a question.
Okay, so my question is, if you would bring a question about these topics, how would the question be, and how do we go about answering it?
This is my secret.
I'm just very confused.
Everything is said, Abir, within the time period here we have is required. Everything is important, but things that are related to the analysis of the components, this is not required. يعني التحليل هذه على أساس المفردات الكلمات الموجودة مثل ما موجود في أقواس المجموعة صغرت أم كبرت، هذا ما مطلوب. أنا ما مطلوب من عندنا أنه في درس اللغة الآن في المرحلة الثالثة نحن غير مطالبون بماذا بهذا التحليل. ممكن في موضوع الصرف مع أستاذ المادة ممكن يسألكم هذا السؤال، ما أعرف هذا شيء خاصة، لكنه في داخل the study of linguistics it is actually the introduction of studying the linguistics. This is just an introduction. So you are not required to know how to analyze these components in my class.
Okay, so all I need to do is to understand what's written and then explain it in my own words, right?
Yeah, why not? This is very, very important to use your own words and paraphrase the ideas, but stick to the ideas.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
My pleasure. Any more questions, please, before I end the session?